door, and Tenmyoji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried.
Did Quark go crazy and kill himself and
What if
Grandpa?
something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Nah, I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far anyway.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
What? Okay. I'll be right back. See you guys later. I would think he would want to go not by himself. I give a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Not far away my butt, dude. You had to go downstairs. Not that far? It's literally one of the farthest places you could have gone. Wow. What a liar. They're probably dead, but still. That's odd. There's nobody here. Picture's gone. Timothy Cork must have been here then. I laid out the floor beam map. Huh. Must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. That's a much shorter route. Yeah, but we're dumb and we took the long way. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back. Everybody's dead! Head to the door when... Huh? There was a light on where there hadn't been a light on before. Oh! It's the Rumba. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously towards it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it slowly.
So, you finally made it.
Hi? You look pretty cool. Your jacket reminds me of Dio, so I automatically think you're a jerk, but... Go for it. You're...
I am Zero.
Oh, hi, Zero. Really?
I was the one who brought you here.
Why do I know that voice?
You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
Then start talking. I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites. In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
How'd you guess?
Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound?
No.
They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of
Are we
their
all going to be living in
perfect
apartments that look
functionality.
like termite mounds?
We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
Ah, okay, Incision. Thanks for looking up the voice
Consider
actor.
humans.
I've heard it.
Why are we alive?
See you, Joy.
Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA.
Okay.
No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites.
Okay.
We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we
That makes
might
sense.
look to such an intelligence.
Like an
We
insect.
may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial.
That's pretty creepy.
If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty.
That we have no idea about that we did.
And you are about to catch a glimpse of it. Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think.
Okay.
Consider what I've said.
That was termites.
Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Yes! I thought Dio was going to give it to me, but I guess you are.
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention.
I got my notepad. I'm ready to go.
The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
DXR. Okay. We are set for that ending. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? He's saying there were bombs too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately.
Okay.
I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Wait! You can't just spout all that crap and disappear? I found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared. What kind of idiot did he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could it even have anything to do with kidnapping us? I kicked out at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any...
Crap. I need to go back. Go the short way this time, bro. Spin around the room toward the warehouse. Thank you. The shortest path.
Grandpa, look, Mr. Sigma's back.
Took you long enough.
You guys spent 20 minutes before I came and got you. Where are
In
the
the
others?
AB rooms.
They went already? Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah, Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round. That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You'd get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect
But
yourselves.
that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
Of
trust
course.
you? Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this from both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck here with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in this
I
lurch?
can guarantee it. I
How?
can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too. I promise.
Man, so all you've got is a
When I
promise.
make a promise. I keep it.
Okay, has he ever broken his promise yet?
Trust me.
Please!
I don't know if he did or
You've
not.
gotta trust us.
We're gonna hit ally either way. One of them they're gonna leave probably. The other one they're gonna get mad and we might do something else. I'll trust you.
2 minutes.
We always pick
remain
ally first anyway.
Until
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally. You promised.
All right, let's do it. What was taking them so long? Were they listening to the message too? Huh. And we're a solo, so there's nobody in here for us to really talk to.
1.
I had a decision to make. Well, I could believe that they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my B point to 6, and that would be much closer to 9. Choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try to escape with without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but
Please! You've gotta trust us. You've gotta choose ally. You promised.
Temyoji I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What was I gonna do?
10 seconds remain until 9, 8,
Alright,
7,
hit the ally
6,
button quickly.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Or
1.
don't even hit it, because then that would just default you to ally.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Thank you, Ambidex.
Ambidex game! The results!
Results from please start.
Let's see. Okay, Dio's still a jerk. Oh, Kay got screwed. Of course they hit betray. What a jerk. What a jerk box. Jerk pair. Clover went to 11. 11? Jeez. Nobody's dead, though. So Clover, Tenmyoji, and Quark are probably all about to leave.
Points, please.
They could, like, couldn't they just do one more round? Hey, the heck, guys? Why'd you betray
Quark
me?
had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your
I only
promise?
promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
But we have 11 points, so we're gonna open it anyway, because I like finding loopholes.
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave. Look, see Clover over there?
Clover's gonna leave, and they're gonna leave with her. They didn't open the number 9 door. Freaking lawyered, man. We got lawyered. Ah. Dick move.
Oh no.
She's
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmi...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
How did he know that she was going to have enough points, though?
Clover, are you really going to leave?
Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others, so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Yeah. Good job, man. That's some shady stuff, Tenmyoji.
You say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done.
Yeah.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
I think he needs to wait to get his bracelet off before he says something like that.
The number it will read.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see two pieces of folded paper. What is it?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand and then ran away.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Then he turned and ran toward the door. I was so surprised by the letter, I didn't even try to stop him. Before I could think of anything to say...
Goodbye.
Okay. Huh.
The number this thank you. As the game is escape, please.
Huh.
Shit, they're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
This is the most chill we've ever been when somebody leaves. I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, and he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. I could read the doctor's direction stuff? Cool. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess it must have been crying pretty loud. Took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain. But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry, though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, and you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I don't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. Almost like today. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd bragged to everybody how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mom." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's going to make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, then he picked me up and set me on the stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. Better be a root beer float. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float! I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head fill with light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know it's got to be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he had found me or adopted me or whatever. Didn't care. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. Oh yeah. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until a fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explained why they were useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. This is a very long story to write on 2 pieces of folded paper. He must write really small. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though, so I just sat there, staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it. and not get involved, but went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever, and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. Doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck onto Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me running around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and said, "Of course not." He told me he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. So she's looking for Akane. That was when I decided to stay with him forever. Dude, what if that's Aoi? There's a lot of people that old guy could be. GG Fantasia. That's when I decided to stay with him forever, even if I said I couldn't. Woo! Wholesome story! On a cool grandpa! Woo! So that's gonna be the Quark end, most definitely. Really, Fantasia? Dude, I can't remember the last time I had something like that, but I felt great once I beat it myself. Kind of like a lot of the other things. Oh, okay. Okay, so that was actually Grandpa ending. Not Quark ending. Okay. We're gonna jump here. And see what happens when we hit Betray. We'll probably be fine, because nothing will happen. They won't get any points. Take that, because we know what happens.
Results, please.
Bring it on, bring it on. Watch them hit ally this time. Still hit Betray. Take that. But Clover can leave.
Points have been, please.
Whew. Thank you, stay hydrated, bot. Hey, what's
Quark
the deal?
had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
So why'd you choose Betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing? I
Oh,
don't
I never
really think
promised.
this is the time for a fight, though. Look, Clover's over by the door.
Clover leaves every single time. Yeti, happy Saturday. We're getting endings. On a stream where I'm going long when I shouldn't because I have a cold. But I'm going anyway.
The number. Fuck, she opened it.
Ugh. Why?
You excited for the season to start back up? I should. I'm enjoying streaming. Last few days have been very supportive. Mears dropped some sub bombs. Got some beautiful cheers from everybody. It's great. What are you gonna
I'm
doing?
going to call the others. I'll get justice for Alice.
It's a pick me up. Wait, do you mean? Oh yeah, Alice is dead in this one. Okay.
The number it will.
Time for me to go.
Gotta go sleepy? Absolutely. We're about to end.
No!
If you want to be on the goodbyes.
Please, Clover, wait!
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk out of here.
But if you are, have a great rest of the night, Evie. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the raid earlier. Thank you for the cheer. Thank you for the support. You're awesome. Clover easily avoided him and moved closer to the door.
Goodbye.
You're the Valk League? Oh, yeah. They moved the Trank League? Cool. Well, I'm on the Valkyrie League, like, list. But did Owlet a few days ago. Caught one glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. I was a mask of ice. At least she didn't go crazy and kill us all. Why you're a fan? Night Fantasia. Yeah. Starting strong on the new schedule, at the very least.
The number not this thing as the escape.
I want to make sure there's anything specific we're gonna get, because we have the username, password for the computer. We have all the disarm codes, and that's just a game over. Perfect. Perfect. 3 more endings to go. But how much would it... How much? I've never been paid to... Actually, I've been paid once. Julia asked me to do it. I don't know, man. I've never actually thought about it. You thought the bad guy was Quark? Well, he pretty much is. He's a jerk. He's probably very manipulative. Which one has the bombs? Because we can do that ending. I think it's this one. I think this one has the bomb ending. Woo! Bomb ending! Come on. We're gonna start there tomorrow.